did something differently, or that I should have checked on him more.
Is it unusual to go that long without checking?
He always lets me know when he needs something, so I didn't think anything of it.
After Sterling's death, Special Agent Chris Calloway spoke with Cheyenne Harris, KOEHN's girlfriend and the mother of Sterling, as well as the couple's daughter, 2-year-old Nala.
Do you remember putting Sterling in the swing?
There was a detachment when talking about Sterling. She lit up when she was talking about her daughter, when she was talking about her dog. But the comments about Sterling, there was maybe a coldness.
Every time he crapped, it was straight liquid.
Okay.
I actually had a diaper where there was no crap in it, and I was amazed.
Yeah. How could you tell when he was uncomfortable?
Pause, I guess.
Okay.
That's pretty much all we could do.
Harris explains the moments leading up to finding Sterling dead.
So Nala wakes you up around noon. What happens next?
I got up and changed her diaper, went to the bathroom myself, fed her, and then I got her set up in the living room to watch a movie for a little bit.
What did you feed her? Do you remember?
Grilled cheese.
That's okay.
And I started thinking, it's been a while since I heard from Sterling.
What happened next?
I got up and found him. And then I went and woke up Zach.
Calloway goes through different possible scenarios.
No illegal drugs in the house or no medication that you know of that Sterling could have gotten into or found or ingested. Sterling, did you take him out of the swing or is he still in the swing?
He was still in the swing.
Okay. Then what happens after he gets out?
After some freaking out and having no idea what to do or say, he called the ambulance. Not my fault.
Is it unusual to go that long without checking?
In 2017, Iowa police are called to the residence of Zachary KOEHN and his girlfriend Cheyenne Harris. They find the dead body of the couple's 4-month-old son, Sterling, lying in his swing. It's not immediately clear how Sterling died, yet when Harris speaks with Special Agent Chris Calloway, some of the pieces of the puzzle start to fill in.
Well, just tell me, Sterling's schedule.
He normally was able to sleep through the night with no problem.
Okay. Where was Sterling?
In the next bedroom in the swing.
Okay. So Sterling was in the swing, but the swing wasn't moving at that point. Okay.
Is it possible that this couple just accidentally forgot about their baby son in his swing?
Would that have been, around what time would that have been when you got him the bottle and changed him?
I'm honestly not sure what time.
When was Zach's last contact with Sterling?
I'm not sure.
How exactly could that happen? This becomes all the more complicated when you dig into the lives of Harris and KOEHN.
Everything that's happened, and all I can think about is that.
Yeah, well, and you're juggling a ton of stuff. I mean, on a lot of things going on.
Cheyenne has been a mother before, and so she should have known how to care for her child. Zach made anywhere between $35,000 to $45,000 a year. He found money to spend on methamphetamine, but did not have the money allegedly to spend on the special formula that their baby needed. Their friends would come over, but they had no idea that they even had a baby. So overall, these were two people who were not proud to have a small baby.
Does he help you at all with the child care, Zach?
No, yeah. He doesn't have the stomach for diaper changing.
His viewpoint was very much that the man goes out and goes to work and does not have anything to do with the home front. Like basically, I'm bringing home the money, you take care of the child and you take care of the house. And that's why he was just not engaged when it came to parenting young Sterling.
The issues in their parenting became even more apparent when we learned about Sterling's birth during a party.
Spend all day trying to go to the bathroom. Cramps got worse and worse and worse. Pushing feels not the way that it normally does. I go to stand up and there's a bulge and I'm like, oh my God, there's a head. So I sit back down on the toilet, scream for Zach. He came out in the water and he was just, eyes popped open and he was just staring at me.
Oh.
We wrapped him up and we waited for the ambulance.
We'll be looking at your house and we're going to be taking things from the guys. And
So this isn't going for a while.
but the idea is to get you guys the truth and the answers that you need.
In 2017, Zachary Keene and his girlfriend Cheyenne Harris tell police they were shocked to find their 4-month-old son Sterling dead in his swing. Harris would explain to investigator Chris Calloway that she fed Sterling.
How many feedings would Sterling have a day?
But normally it would be 3 or 4 of the 8-ounce things.
Okay.
And Sterling's room seemed to be fine.
How warm was the room?
It was comfortable. It didn't seem too hot to me.
Yet it soon becomes clear that things aren't adding up and that the couple, who struggled with substance abuse, hadn't checked on Sterling for quite some time.
I didn't have any preconceived notions about what had happened. And as she started talking, I was just left with that gap in time. I mean, so we're looking at 19 hours with no care of a newborn.
If you were to predict what the doctors will find, what do you think?
Zach keeps saying something about sudden death syndrome.
Okay.
Overall, wasn't very well thought through. This just doesn't add up with sudden infant death syndrome.
There's something else to know about Sterling's death, something that would make this case stand out from many others. Sterling wasn't just found dead in his swing, but his room was in fact extremely hot and smelled of urine. And one of the most disturbing revelations, the infant's diaper was filled with maggots.
Sterling was taken to our state medical examiner's office where an autopsy was done, and cause of death was denial of critical care, and the manner of death was considered homicide.
He, I believe, was an entomologist who spoke extensively about, the fact that the flies and the maggots that were on baby Sterling's body, he was able to track back and say, listen, based on where the eggs were in their development, how the flies were in their development, we can say that, this had been going on and this child had been in this state for close to 2 weeks. How did the child stay in a swing for 2 weeks without diaper being changed, anyone checking on him? That's just beyond the pale.
According to the autopsy, Sterling died from a combination of malnutrition, dehydration, and an E. coli infection. Ultimately, both Keene and Harris were arrested and charged with first-degree murder and child endangerment.
I can't help but feel that I could have said differently, or that I should have checked on him more.
Is it unusual to go that long without checking?
He always lets me know when he needs something, so I didn't think anything of it.
How has Sterling's appetite been the last day, couple days? Their feedings?
far as I can tell,
Okay.
In Iowa, parents Zachary Keene and Cheyenne Harris are facing murder and child endangerment charges in connection with the death of their 4-month-old son Sterling. Forensic evidence, including the presence of maggots in the infant's diaper, suggests Sterling hadn't been fed nor changed in 2 weeks and was left to die in his swing. The couple were tried separately. First up was Keene.
Little Sterling couldn't feed himself. He couldn't change his diaper. He was vulnerable as only an infant can be. The evidence in this case will show by his actions, he directly caused Sterling's death. He told the dispatcher that his son had died of SIDS, or sudden infant death syndrome. That's not what happened in this case. This was not an accident. That was a cover story concocted by this defendant to cover the awful truth.
And he's going to talk about the evidence. Why this is a tragedy, but not a crime. And we're going to ask you to return a verdict of not guilty.
In a case with such horrid details, many wondered, how could the defense explain this away? Well, Zachary Keene himself tried to do just that when he took the stand.
He said several times in cross-examination that you trust the wrong person. Who is that person that you trust?
Cheyenne Harris, the mother.
Were you at any time during someone's life aware that that was a condition he had?
No.
You knew that he was not being fed. What would you have done?
I would have fed him, for sure. I had trusted her judgment. I mean, look at my daughter. She's very healthy, and so I trusted her.
He totally was blaming her and being like, I trusted the wrong person. At the end of the day, it's both of you. Because you're both the parents and you both live in this tiny house. Him trying to blame her and her trying to blame him just made the jury more enraged.
State of Iowa versus Zachary Keene, verdict form, count 1. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder in the first degree. Count 2. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of child endangerment causing the death of a child.
Then there was Cheyenne Harris's trial.
That this is not a case where the parent, Ms. Harris, lacked resources or was an inexperienced parent. The other child in the home, her name is Nala. The evidence will show that she was healthy, in contrast to Sterling. In contrast to Sterling, she was properly clothed and cleaned and bathed. She was properly fed. That child's mother, Cheyenne Harris, failed in her responsibility as a parent. She failed little Sterling. She violated the trust that Sterling placed in her as her mother.
You're going to wonder what kind of monster could do something like this. The monster in this case is mental health. The monster in this case is depression, postpartum, substance abuse. She's not evil, and this case is not murder.
It was an extremely difficult case to try.
I think it was a situation where Cheyenne was suffering from postpartum depression, as well as substance abuse, and then adding in a father who wasn't claiming this baby. And so I think that's why the older child, Nala, was cared for, and the younger child was kind of just left to the side, and it just spiraled down from there.
Certainly had evidence of the use of methamphetamine, a prolonged use of methamphetamine. Meth causing that disconnect, and you lose your understanding of time. It shows that she was really disconnected from reality.
They didn't have anything to show that she had actual hate for this child or any reason to suspect that she wanted the baby to die.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder in the first degree. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of child endangerment causing the death of a child.
We were hamstrung by Iowa's felony murder rule as it relates to a certain form of child endangerment. If it's proven, then they don't have to prove premeditation. And what that did is it gutted our ability to argue anything along the lines of specific intent. They don't like the felony murder rule. Murder should be reserved for the worst of the worst.
Chickasaw County 911.
It's August 30th, 2017 in Iowa. Zachary Keene, a father of 2 young children, calls 911 and reveals a terrifying discovery.
Okay, what's going on?
Around 9, my girlfriend went to feed our son, and then about 11 or 11:30, she went to check on him, and he was gone.
Gone meaning?
He died.
It's this statement that would begin the investigation into the death of 4-month-old Sterling Keene, who would be found dead in his swing.